My name is Deepak Shrivastava, MD. I'm a sleep physician at University of California in Davis. I'm a professor of medicine, sleep medicine, pulmonary and critical care, and also medical director for the Sleep Disorder Center at the San Joaquin General Hospital County Facility. Sleep apnea is one of the disorders which is probably very prevalent and has significant medical and social implications. It includes cardiovascular complications, neurocognitive complications, as well as metabolic complications. So there is association with high blood pressure, cardiac arrhythmias, congestive heart failure, angina, heart attack, sudden death, as well as high blood glucose, stroke. So these complications are implicated significantly because of the uncontrolled, undiagnosed, or untreated sleep apnea. In order to diagnose the sleep apnea, first order of the business is to screen and suspect that somebody may have sleep apnea. And large portion of the population, there are different studies, but up to 25% of the men and up to 10% of the women can have obstructive sleep apnea at different levels. It could be simple snoring all the way to severe cases of sleep apnea. So screening tools are very, very important and should be used in the primary care physician's, general physician's office in order to suspect that there is a probability of obstructive sleep apnea. Subsequently, there are testing to be done once the suspicion and the high pretest probability is there, either by way of a home sleep testing or in-lab polysomnography. These are very comprehensive tests. Home sleep testing can be done in the comfort of the patient's own home, in their bedroom, in their natural environment. Certainly it has some advantages to do home sleep testing, but it comes with the price of limited data acquisition compared to the in-lab testing, which is very, very comprehensive. So once as Dr. Suri said in his interview, that there are about 500 sleep labs at this time in India, and I'm sure given the large population of India, we need many more sleep labs, many more home sleep test companies, as well as sleep specialists. So new tools are becoming available. Once the diagnosis of sleep apnea is established, the treatment is needed. And the treatment can be provided in two forms. One is the non-invasive form, which comes with a machine called CPAP. Different type of CPAP machines are available. CPAP stands for Continuous Positive Airway Pressure Machine. And in simple words, there is a small machine that provides through a motor, it generates pressure and pushes the air through a tube into the mouth or the nose, and in order to open the airway of the person so that they can breathe when they are sleeping. So a variety of sleep machines are available through international companies who are doing business in India for last many, many years. And definitely they do a very, very good job given our needs. The other treatment for sleep apnea, which is non-invasive, is we call it oral appliance or mandibular advancement device. And the idea is this is fabricated to the patient's denture, upper and lower part of the denture, and which moves the jaw forward. This device is fabricated by a trained dentist. And at this point in India, there are very few trained dentists who will be able to provide this device. The future is very, very bright in terms of both the treatment equipment with CPAP, BiPAP, other machines, as well as oral appliances. Then there is the surgical treatment, where head and neck surgeons, they are also known as the ear, nose, throat surgeons, remove the tonsils or the part of the pharynx where the uvula, the part that when you open your mouth, it hangs on top of the tongue, is removed. And the idea of that surgery is to open the airway space so that a patient can breathe. The success rates are variable. CPAP is considered to be the standard therapy because there is clinical evidence that CPAP works for different levels of sleep apnea, whether it's mild sleep apnea, moderate sleep apnea, or severe sleep apnea. Oral appliances have some role. Their role is more and more defined as the time passes and more research comes, but at this time they are used for mild to moderate sleep apnea. The surgical interventions can be done with mild sleep apnea, especially if the patient is unable to use or be cured with the non-invasive therapy. The results at this time are approximately 50 to 60% success rate, but it depends on the surgeon, their training, and some of the patient characteristics that who will succeed. So these are the basic options for treatment available. In addition to these treatments, there are some other additional treatments or additional modalities available that should be practiced. For example, weight loss, smoke cessation, refraining from drinking alcohol 4 hours before going to bed, good sleep habits, use of medications. So there are recommendations that come with these treatments to supplement the effect of the treatment. So sleep hygiene and sleep education is a very important part of patient management. Once the sleep apnea is diagnosed and the treatment is initiated, patient still needs a lot of help and assistance in continuing to maintain the treatment, because the default rate and non-compliance with the use of the treatment is very, very high.